Welcome to toyotacamroad.com.au. My name is Paul Stevens. Today we're going to be talking about the fabulous, the amazing, the awesome 200 series Toyota Camroad. Behind me is the one that we're going to demonstrate to you. It's one of several models that are now available to be imported out of Japan. This one is the ZIL 520, and what an amazing beast it is. Okay, so let's do a side-by-side outside comparison of the two units. The one on the left of me is the older 100 series. Still a great machine, still a 3-litre Toyota, and still a 4-wheel drive. The one on the right of me is the later model 200 series. Let's talk about the older one to start with. These are getting harder and harder to find in Japan. They've had their run, and there are plenty of them here in Australia, but they're just more difficult to find. The one on the right here, the new 200 series, there's plenty of them. And there are plenty out there for you to purchase and enjoy this great country of ours. Inside the Toyota Camroad 200 series, you're going to be finding extreme comfort. They really are quite a beautiful motorhome. They're very well appointed, and when you walk in, you feel like you are home, which is very important when you are deciding on a motorhome. This particular model that we've got here at the moment, the ZIL 520, does have the bunks in the rear. They're large bunks. They're not a small child bunk. Somebody who is 6 foot can easily lay out and be quite comfortable. The top bunk does lift up to move that out of the way. Then you've got your shower and your toilet, quite spacious as well. There is a door that opens on the outside of the shower and the toilet that allows you to remove the cassette part of the toilet mechanism. Also allows you to take the shower head outside to have an outside shower. And what I've mentioned in the past, if you are in a private setting, you've got a room with a view. There's also a kitchen in the motorhome as well. That does feature the 2 gas burner stovetop, a sink that has the dishwashing water and also fresh drinking water. These motorhomes do come with a fridge freezer. Further back, they do have their hot water system control as well. A range hood above the cooktop is in every one of these motorhomes. And then when you move closer to the front of the motorhome, you do have the dinette area that seats 4 people very, very comfortably, but it also does fold down to a bed, and 2 people can sleep comfortably on this unit as well. And then of course above the cab is the biggest bed I think I've ever seen in any motorhome. It's huge. It does slide all the way back and very, very comfortable. Lots of headroom up there. You do have a window on either side for light and ventilation. On this particular model, there is a day seat next to the door. There is also the drop-down section to increase your prep area. In some cases, people might want to use this area potentially to put a larger upright fridge freezer in, but the versatility is there. Or you can step from the back of the vehicle to the front of the motorhome, so there is a lot of security. Overall, the interior of these 200 series is very nice. They're very modern looking, and of course when we start talking about the other models that are available, like the Skip 480 for example, they're interesting. They do have the rear club lounge, which is lovely, and it does of course double down to a bed if you wanted to. The configuration of the Skip 480 also has that very large bed above the cab. With the cord bunk, they have a very similar interior to this one that I'm sitting in at the moment, but they do come with that large boot rear section. As I've mentioned before, these units are available in 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. You decide which one that you want to own. Okay, let's get this beautiful 200 series Toyota Camroad on the road. And of course, this is where it all matters. The first thing that you will notice when you are accelerating in this vehicle, there is a lot of power. This particular model that I am driving, it is called the ZIL 520. This one is in fact the all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive version, and it does have the 3-litre turbo Toyota engine in it. So it really is the complete package. It's very compact, you can park it anywhere, the seating condition is just very comfortable, and here in Australia that's important. You could definitely drive great distances in this motorhome because things are a great distance apart. Now we've just taken off of the lights. I have left everybody in my dust. This thing is very, very fast. Now, you're not going to want to race around Australia, but you also don't want to be getting to hills and then holding everybody up behind you. And that is a great concern of a lot of travelers. It's never going to happen in this vehicle. Toyota have come up with just an amazing package, and you're going to literally feel like the king of the road in this motorhome. The steering position is very, very comfortable. The engine is very quiet for a diesel, and look, a lot of you that are viewing this, of course, have driven diesel motorhomes before, or trucks or cars. This one is very, very quiet. Two people can have a lovely conversation, not have to shout and scream over each other, which is really what you want. Now, going over some bumps right now, gosh, this is comfortable. It just floats over the undulations on the road. I'm very, very confident driving this vehicle. You know that you are driving something that is very reliable. Of course, being a Toyota, the air conditioning is nice and cold. It really is just a lovely environment to be in. When I have customers that come on to my dealership to purchase motorhomes, because we are also a sell on behalf dealership, so we deal with a lot of different types of motorhomes. There are certain requirements that, as a general rule, relate to most of the population. And I'm going to just discuss my largest percentage of customer at this point in time are the single lady travelers. The requirements for the single lady traveler is obviously reliability. Well, you can't get any more reliable than a Toyota. Another requirement is being able to get from the back to the rear, from the rear to the front of the motorhome without having to exit the vehicle. Obviously for convenience sake, but also for safety's sake. You can do that quite easily in one of these 200 series Camroads. Another requirement for the ladies is you want comfort. You want to feel like this is your home, especially if you're going to be spending any extended period of time traveling around Australia. Another requirement, not just for the single lady travelers, but for a lot of solo travelers, is being able to park a unit without any concerns. Parking in a shopping centre, being able to maneuver around a busy city. These particular one, this ZIL 520 is 5.2 meters in length. So they're a very, very compact model. The other models that we deal with, being the Skip 480 and the Corday bunks, are also very compact models. I certainly am loving driving this motorhome, and I've driven just about every single type of motorhome that is available for sale in Australia, from brand new ones to good quality second-hand ones. I've driven all makes, all brands, all models, and without a shadow of a lie, this would have to be one of the nicest, most comfortable little campers that I have ever driven in my life. Now remember, you can also buy these units in two-wheel drive, which means they're going to be less expensive. If you're not wanting to leave the tar-sealed roads, then you don't need a four-wheel drive unit. But of course, if you do want to have complete freedom around this amazing country of ours, the four-wheel drive unit is going to do the job for you very nicely. These units, as I mentioned, they're an all-wheel drive unit. There is a low range on the automatic shifter. You're not going to get into any problems or any issues wherever you want to go. In fact, dare I say, you can take this one onto the beach. So next time that you want to go to your favorite fishing spot, or someone's told you need to go down that dirt track and take a left on that field, this is the motorhome that you're going to do it in. And you're going to hear me say this next phrase to you a couple of times. There is nothing in Australia that compares or competes with this little motorhome. That's the reason why we source them out of Japan. The Japanese have created the most amazing, easy to drive, super comfortable, go anywhere, four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive motorhome available today. You are definitely going to be the envy on the roads. Now, I'm going up a pretty steep hill. You can't see it at the moment. We're zipping up this hill. No concerns whatsoever. On the road, at speed, these are very comfortable, very safe, very easy to drive. These will cruise at 110 kilometers an hour on our motorways with no concerns whatsoever. And then bear in mind, of course, the resale value of one of these units. It's through the roof. As I mentioned before, we are a sell on behalf dealership. We've been on the Gold Coast for 25 years. And there are certain models of motorhomes that just hold their value. These little Camroads will hold their value for many years to come. And I'm sure that there are many that maybe just want to do one lap around Australia. Well, I have a standing offer with all of my customers is that once you've done your one lap around Australia, bring it back to me and we will sell it for you. And you will be surprised at how little money you will lose. In some cases, people make money. So one of the other things that I am learning about these 200 series, there's very little vibration coming from that diesel engine. As I'm sure a lot of you have sat in maybe the older diesel engines, and they're a bit vibrating and they're quite loud and noisy, very smooth. And you can tell by this camera that I've stopped now. There's an idle, there's a little bit of a shake there, but you can tell there's very little. It's attached to the windshield, which is going to transpose all of the vibration into the camera. There's very little at all. And that's a real world test right there. So we are on a public road right now with other vehicles, cars, and we are keeping up with their speed with no problems at all. Being an automatic, I've got both hands on the steering wheel and the seats are super comfortable. I am loving life. Now, I've been around Australia 4 times, so I am an ex-nomad. I have not seen hardly any of this country. And if I had one of these Toyota Camroads, these 200 series, particularly the 4-wheel drive one, my goodness, I would go absolutely everywhere and with confidence. So definitely the true test of any motorhome is how you feel when you're on the road. Are you confident driving it? Are you confident of keeping up with traffic? Are you confident that you're in a safe environment where you can check all those boxes off? Because this 200 series Toyota Camroad is fantastic and definitely one of the nicest, most comfortable motorhomes I have driven in the entire time that I've had my business. Again, if you would like to visit our website, please go to www.toyotacamroad.com.au. There you will find this ZIL 520 as well as the Skip 480 and the Corday Bunk motorhomes available for purchase. Our contact details are on that website. The phone number on that website is my phone. You will be able to discuss and talk with me directly. or better still, come down to the dealership. At the time of this recording, we are the only dealership in the country that has this ZIL 520 physically on the lot. So you can come down and you can touch it and feel it. We'll go for a drive. We can discuss and talk about all of the options available to you so that you can make an informed decision about purchasing one. So the braking on this vehicle is nothing short of amazing. And you can imagine that you are going to put some weight in this vehicle. It's easy, it's smooth. You have a lot of confidence if you ever need to brake in a hurry. The other thing that is startling, and you are witnessing this firsthand, and certainly by virtue of the recording, there's no rattles, there's no creaks, there's no squeaks. Plenty of times I've taken motorhomes for a test drive with my customers of other brands and other models, and there's a rattle and there's a squeak and there's a lot of action going on in the back of the motorhome. These things are built so well, not a squeak. I'll stop talking for a minute. You tell me if you can hear anything. Nothing. And then when you start putting your clothes and your supplies and everything that you're going to take with you inside the cabinetry, that's going to make it even more quieter. These are pretty spectacular, these motorhomes. No wind noise. There's no wind noise in the cab. The seals on the windows are amazing. And remember, this is a second-hand motorhome. Why would you want to buy something out of Japan? I used to live in Japan. I lived there for a lot of years. And I can tell you firsthand, the Japanese are renowned for taking care of what they own. In Japan, you would never be allowed to wear shoes inside this motorhome. In Japan, you cannot buy a vehicle without first having some place to be able to park it off the road, because the roads are very narrow, they're very small. In Japan, they service their vehicles on a regular basis, even if they're not using them on a regular basis. So the turning circle on this thing is amazing. It almost turns within its own footprint. That's another thing that you'll notice about these Camroads. You will find that with all of the motorhomes that we get out of Japan, they would be considered extremely low kilometered vehicles as opposed to what we find here in Australia. And they're genuine mileage. Reason being is the Japanese don't have the same amount of holiday time as we have here in Australia. Japan is virtually the same size of New Zealand. And you consider that 90% of Japan is mountainous. There's not a lot of areas that they can go to. So when you purchase your Toyota Camroad 200 series through our dealership, this is what you'll receive. We also include a 5-year nationwide comprehensive warranty on every single unit. As a dealership, we're very happy to look at all trades, and we're happy to assist in any financing requirements. Over and above all of that, your purchase through our dealership, we will handle all of the shipping, all of the sourcing, all of the duties, all of the taxes. And when it arrives here in Australia, we also handle all of the requirements for ADR, meaning that they get all complied and ready to be registered in Australia. In fact, if you're in our town of the Gold Coast, one of our staff will go with you to the Roads and Transport Department and help you register the unit. Please go to our website at www.toyotacamroad.com.au for more information. And if you'd like to come and visit our dealership, we are at 170 Brisbane Road, Arundel on the Gold Coast, right opposite Harbour Town Shopping Centre. So we're very easy to find. My name is Paul Stevens. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.